there seems to be a lot of assumptions about a false narrative, pitting the jobs agenda against the climate agenda. And you can see this time and time again. Economies, and we work a lot with the South African government. In fact, we are the national platform for solving youth employment in South Africa, and we work with the presidency directly. And even there, people want to develop economies first and then deal with climate change, right? And it seems to be an important narrative to address. What we've seen, though, is the minute you advocate for jobs versus climate, you've lost the narrative. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm really glad this conversation talks about it quite squarely in the face, that there are opportunities in the climate agenda to address jobs. But there are still winners and losers, and people continually use that narrative of winners and losers to draft this agenda. I'll give you a specific example of just transition in South Africa, which is the largest emitter of carbon emissions on the continent. The focus there has been almost exclusively on reducing emissions versus looking at opportunities. And again, this distorts our opportunity lens, because then it focuses solely on emission and taking jobs from coal workers and people who are displaced, which is really important. And it takes away from the narrative of what opportunities we can create. And South Africa has passed some significant legislation to address this issue. But again, it is a political issue, and it has become a politicized issue that is front and center in election campaigns. We are, in South Africa, electing a new president next year. And it is front and center. It's jobs for coal miners versus young people who are on the streets demonstrating. So I'll urge us to actually get rid of that false dichotomy, and this conversation is precisely addressing that. And underpinning that false narrative is an assumption that there aren't enough jobs being created in the climate space, which I think you alluded to, sort of the green hydrogen space. A lot of people have talked about, really, at the end of the day, very entry-level jobs are hard to come by in the green economy space. People talk about climate scientists, a lot of technology. People talk about waste and circular economy, and those are sort of entry-level or even below minimum wage jobs. There isn't a full appreciation of the value chain of jobs that are needed to shift this narrative on its head. So I would urge this room to really delve deep into that conversation to understand what are the jobs we're talking about.